It's Tuesday, February 21, and time for your Barbados Today morning update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. A disgusting thing. That's how prominent attorney and political hopeful Arthur Holder is describing the plight of a mother of two who is owed $81,000 in child maintenance. And while he's blaming the delinquent fathers for the situation, he's also pointing an accusing finger at the government, and in particular, Attorney General and Home Affairs Minister Adriel Brathwaite for the current shortage of court marshals in the country's legal system. Holder, who is preparing to contest the next general election on a Barbados Labour Party ticket, suggested at a party meeting over the weekend that the minister could easily remedy the situation by invoking Section 9 in the Special Constables Act. The law currently provides for island constables to issue summons in the same way that court marshals do.
I am told now that no summons are being served in certain districts. So they can't find them. So that, for example, in this country, for the past 2.5 years, they got the marshal to St. John. It's personal to me. Because I have a constituent who as of today's date is owed the sum of $81,000 in maintenance arrears. $81,000. 2 children, yes, from Barbados in St. John. For the past 8 years, she has not collected a blind penny in maintenance from 2 children fathers in this country, in St. John.
Government's days in the local business may be numbered. In fact, Tourism Minister Richard Seeley says it should not have been involved in the first place. In delivering his report on the tourism industry's performance for 2016 and projections for 2017, Seeley assured that the Democratic Labour Party administration's involvement in hotel projects, including the Sam Lord's Castle development, will not replicate the fiasco involving Hotels and Resorts Limited years ago when it racked up millions of dollars in debt. He made the pledge yesterday as he announced the sale of Time Out at the Gap, one of the former gems of Barbados properties.
The idea again is that government just facilitating the process and eventually coming out. We don't want to get into the business of running hotels. That is not government's business. That was the position that I was part of in my opposition days, and it is still my view now. And in that regard, let me just say, the same hotel and resorts, you're going to probably hear it eventually. Time Out at the Gap has been sold. It has been sold to the tenant, the Sun Group. They paid $7.5 million for it, which is basically what it was worth.
In his presentation entitled Tourism Expansion for Job Creation and the March to Full Employment, the minister also revealed that the sector will create 14,000 jobs by 2021, helping the country achieve full employment.
The labor force is in the vicinity of 147,200 people. So we have, according to the statistical information, just over 15,000 people looking for work. On our present course over the next 3 years, we figure we can create about 14,000 jobs with the new rooms and the investment in the existing rooms. This is extrapolated again based on what is actually happening.
Barbados and the rest of the region continue to work diligently in the fight against crime. However, Professor Velma Newton, who's the Regional Project Director of Impact Justice, says there's still a critical need for victims of crime to get the necessary help to cope with their loss. She made the comment at a 2-day Impact Justice workshop being held at the Accra Beach Hotel under the theme Enhancing Support to Victims of Crime, Building Capacity Through Community Partnerships.
There is some of it. I am not. And my impression is that it is not very organized. Either in the police forces or in ministries of social development and welfare, so they do have some activity. Yeah. I suppose the lack of funding is often something that keeps us back. They're not people. That people are not ready and willing and available to offer some of the services that women like the auto police can offer. They just don't have the resources, either in terms of personnel or funds.
In sports, rising West Indies batting talent Rovman Powell secures an Indian Premier League contract. He will play in his debut outing for Kolkata Knight Riders when the new season starts on April 5. Joining Powell in the lucrative tournament at the franchise are West Indies middle order batsman Darren Bravo and off-spinner Sunil Narain. Also slated to make his debut in the IPL is promising wicketkeeper batsman Nicholas Pooran, who will play for Mumbai Indians. He will join fellow Trinidadians Kieran Pollard and Lindell Simmons, while former West Indies captain Darren Sammy returns to the IPL wearing the colours of the Kings 11 Punjab. The other West Indians who will feature in this year's IPL are Carlos Brathwaite for Delhi Daredevils, Dwayne Smith and Darren Bravo for Gujarat Lions, and Chris Gale and Samuel Bradry, who will play for Royal Challengers Bangalore.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's the celebration of agriculture, 50 years and beyond. Come and experience this year's AgroFest exhibition at the historic Queen's Park on February 24th to 26th. Don't miss the African Heritage Month celebrations, the AgroFest Special Edition, an impressive display of leather products made from Barbados' black belly sheep, the best of crop over 2016, and much more. AgroFest 2017. Tickets available at all official box offices.
Regionally, there's a call for the region to remain united in its quest for reparations. It's coming from Sir Hilary Beckles, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies. He made the comments at the just concluded CARICOM Summit in Guyana.
It would be a profound mistake for civil society organizations to take a backseat in the fight for reparations, says Sir Hilary Beckles, Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies and Chairman of the Caribbean Reparations Commission. Sir Hilary Beckles, who was in Guyana for the just concluded 28th intersessional meeting of CARICOM heads of government, explained that the establishing of the CARICOM Reparations Commission by regional leaders was meant to be a partnership between the states and civil society organizations.
The civil society movements, therefore, must continue their agitation. They must continue their struggles. They must continue to promote in their jurisdictions the importance of reparatory justice. The CARICOM Reparations Commission will provide leadership in certain areas, such as the intergovernmental dialogue and the international dialogue. Now, my fear had always been that the groups that have brought this movement from the depth of history up to this moment would begin to subside in light of the establishment of the CARICOM Reparations Commission, and to assume that we have done our work and now over to the governments. That would be a fundamental error.
Further afield, more than 100 workers in the U.S. have reportedly lost their jobs after taking part in last week's Day Without Immigrants protests. U.S. media say those now on the breadline include construction workers and restaurant staff. They allegedly stayed at home in last Thursday's protest aimed at highlighting the contribution of immigrants in the U.S. And finally, the United Nations has declared a famine in parts of South Sudan. 3 UN agencies warn that war and a collapsing economy have left some 100,000 people facing starvation in parts of the country. But not only that, the agencies say the country is also on the brink of genocide. More in this report from the CNN.
The UN is now talking of genocide, and the serious concern is that this could turn into another Rwanda, where genocide occurred as the world did nothing.
South Sudan stands on the brink of an all-out ethnic civil war, which quite frankly can destabilize the entire region.
5 years ago, the future seemed brighter for Africa's youngest nation after achieving independence. But a power struggle followed by more violence resulted in burned villages and thousands of deaths. A peace deal broke down in 2016, and the UN security resolution failed to impose an arms embargo. Many wonder now if the new US administration will prioritize this war-torn nation. In the meantime, it is nations like Uganda who are welcoming refugees from South Sudan.
And on that note, we come to the end of our news and sports update, but there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM for all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.